currently the Jags is 6-point favorites in this one with a total of 37.5, but you just saw somebody come through, one of the reporters say that Trevor Lawrence is going to have his shoulder looked at.
Yeah, we're going to go into medical to have a right shoulder looked at for Trevor Lawrence. So throwing shoulder for Trevor Lawrence, we can add that to the concussion last week. We can add that to the high ankle sprain 2 weeks prior to that. So not sure what type of Trevor Lawrence we're going to get, or if we're even going to get him. I would expect they try and get him out there because that division is very much in doubt right now as a playoff spot for this Jacksonville Jaguar team. So I would expect Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see what comes back from that right shoulder check on Monday. It's hard for me to even think about backing the Jags. And if there's one spot it would be against Carolina. I have this as a 5.5-point game, so I'm on the other side of the number right now. So right now I'd lean toward the Carolina +6 number. I would wait for this, though. Let's see if we get Lawrence in there. Let's see if we get over a touchdown. And then I'm probably going to bet Carolina for one of the few times this year because this Carolina team's a frisky team. They have absolutely no reason to lose. They don't have their own number 1 draft pick, so they're going to be motivated to play. And I've been harping on this for 2 weeks on this show now. Jacksonville is a mess. Like, they just make mistakes consistently, and they find new ways to make mistakes every single game. Multiple turnovers today, missed field goals last week, just some bonehead play calls. I can't get excited about backing this Jacksonville team. So if I get over a touchdown with the Panthers, I'm going in on that side.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this Panthers team. They play today. They lose to the Packers 33-30, but they do cover even the closing number. This thing got bet all the way down to 3.5. I mean, like there was a lot of Panthers love in this game. And I've kind of been saying this, Mike, and a lot of people have been looking at me crazy, where I'm like, I think Bryce Young can play. He just doesn't have any talent around him. And like, there's no talent on this team whatsoever. And I think you started to see some of that over the last few weeks here. Yeah, it hadn't equaled wins or 2-13, but you sit there and you look at like today against a Packers defense that we don't think is great by any stretch, but also we don't think is a bunch of bums. He goes for 312 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He doesn't throw a pick in the game. You see some really nice throws, some really nice decisions. Sure, maybe it took him a little bit longer to kind of get the flow of the game, to kind of get some of the reads, to kind of get when to just tuck it and run and when to throw it away as opposed to C.J. Stroud. But I've seen over the last month with Bryce Young, I don't think that this is a bust like a lot of people are trying to make this out to be. I think it's a guy that went into a very bad situation with a coach that did not have any say in what was going on, had a bad game plan for him personally. And then on top of that, if you look at the roster around him on the offensive side of the ball, he just doesn't have any talent. He has no one to throw to. He didn't have anyone to throw to all year long.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.